Good afternoon, everybody. I will be presenting our paper titled Expanding Zero Tillage Service Provision Perspectives from Machinery Owners in the Eastern Gangetic Plains. We are doing this study because while we know how economically beneficial service provision is for machinery owners and customer farmers, there are still limited service providers across the EGP due to the high investment costs of agricultural machinery. Also, currently all literature on ZT service provision focuses on economic analyses, and there is limited research on the socioeconomic impacts of service provision on their livelihoods and households. This study focuses on the informal individual service provision sector that includes farmers' collectives and farmers' groups that are currently the dominant component of the fee-for-hire agriculture economy within the EGP. Our study aims to understand the experiences of being a service provider by analyzing the learnings, implementing processes, and ongoing business strategies of current service providers, along with the perceptions of their community on the drivers and constraints of ZT service provision, and finally on how all these factors interact and influence CASI uptake in the EGP. The study analyzed a subset of 30 interviews out of the SRFSI qualitative dataset of trial service providers and service provider typologies. A separate codebook was developed based on the DMD that focused on topics relevant to ZT service provision. That included motivation and experience, support networks, and more. A total of 1,819 excerpts were coded to 30 themes defined by the codebook using deduced qualitative software. Service providers across locations noted positive lifestyle changes through increased finances, reduced drudgery, and overall household family satisfaction. Similarly, as service providers were perceived to have higher engagement with agriculture department offices and local universities, they were also respected as knowledge holders within their communities. All these benefits, along with the recent trend of labor shortages in the EGP, also meant that perceived community demand for ZT was increasing. However, in order to successfully expand and outscale CASI in the EGP, service providers have several challenges to overcome, including technological issues of ZT functionality like seed drop, rusting fertilizer boxes, and the heaviness of the machine. Several service providers also felt that a majority of these issues were exacerbated by a lack of appropriate training, resulting in unskilled trainers, along with a lack of maintenance services. Additionally, community perception was seen to be constrained, with perceived land type needed for ZT and a lack of subsidies to invest in machinery. For better uptake of ZT across the EGP, service providers noted three things. The first was improvement of existing extension networks for continuous information flow. The second was the establishment of more training centers in their communities for mechanics needs, operators, and service providers themselves. And the third was to have more subsidies and loans available for ZT attachments. And ultimately, these solutions will be able to help other farmers also invest in agricultural machinery.